This is a We Are ND Nation podcast. I am Evan J. Thomas, and with me always is Mr. Dennis Stover. We are guest free today, and on today's show, we will be recapping the newly minted number 10 Notre Dame football team and their 56-3 victory over Tennessee State. What it meant for Notre Dame to play a FCS HBCU school, and a little story that I'll tell you at a group of people that I met Saturday after the game, the landscape of college football after week one, and what to expect this week at North Carolina State. And, we name that former ND player with Dennis. This is going to be a kicker this week.
This will be a good one.
It's going to be literally.
We don't need guests. It's nice having guests, but it'll be good. It'll be good. Yeah, this game's got me a little. I'm nervous about every game, but it'll be the best test they've had all year, obviously. But
I still haven't even put in a score pick yet. I got a
NC State isn't a sleeper. They won 9 games last year, I think.
Did they? Shit.
Something like that.
All right. Well, let's talk about Saturday.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame beat.
You were there. You were there.
It
had to be fun.
It was
Send
hot.
me pictures of all the awesome Allen and Lee Becton.
Oh yeah. So I got
fantastic.
Tailgating. Finally, literally 2 hours before the game started, I was texting back and forth, trying to find where Allen was and where Lee was and where everybody was. Well, I found out that they have now their own little area where Holtz's Heroes is all gathered together. So that is the group that they all kind of helping out, Lou Holtz. But Alan Rossum was there. Lee Becton was there. Reggie Brooks showed up. So those are 3 guests that we've already had on the show. Literally minutes missed Chris Zorich and Tim Brown. I've got to meet Brown before, but to be able to meet him like in that atmosphere and be like, dude, I've had these guys on my show. Why don't you?
Right. He wouldn't have been he wouldn't have just seen you as, oh, cool fan. Let me sign something and be on his way. It would have been like, oh, I'll do your show. Man, you imagine Tim Brown out here?
Well, that's how I got Zorich last year. I met him at the tailgate.
There you go.
So, talked with him for a little bit. He gave me his email address. Boom. A couple weeks later, he was on.
So amazing.
So yeah, it was really hot. We were actually on the sun side the first half of the game. So we were Heather and I were baking. And halftime came, we went downstairs, kind of cooled off a little bit. And once people started leaving, we're like, hey, let's go to the other side. So we were 50 yards
line. Oh, you moved nice.
In the shade, sitting up against the wall. And I think I even dozed off for about 10 minutes.
I know I was dozing off on the couch.
Yeah, exactly. But you're sitting there, it's beautiful out. You're in the shade, the wind's blowing. It was touchdown after touchdown. It was just awesome game. Obviously, they won 56-3. 2-0 on the young season. They just got announced as number 10 on the AP poll yesterday. Dennis, what did you see out of this team this past week?
I see that not that it was really ever in doubt, but it was 7-3 after one quarter, and Tennessee State was inspired. So hopefully, and it was a slow start against Navy as well. So hopefully, they'll be able to come out fast. I'd like to see a fast start against. Granted, they scored on both drives, I think, but I don't like the hanging around. Again, it was 2 lesser opponents, and they usually pull ahead as the game progresses. So nothing to worry about. Excuse me. I was very happy with Hartman. I'm glad they pulled him out after a half. Why keep him in there? Why take a chance at a long season? And you get experience from all these younger players. That was so awesome.
Yeah, they were on the third string with Minchie playing as well.
Yeah, and he got some passes off. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
2 for 2. So I'm just going to go.
Angeli, right here, you said 8 of 11, 130 yards.
Yeah. And then obviously Hartman, 14 of 17, 194, 2 touchdowns. I just love that we get peanut butter in there when we can.
I like that. You're like peanut butter time, and I was like, Angeli. I was like, that's pretty good.
It was
really good.
It was week 1. I was hanging here at my house. Heather was here. Rick Herrera was here.
Is that what he came up with?
So he's like, hey, it's peanut butter time. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So kind of like what you did. And he's like, it's Angeli, peanut butter and jelly. And I'm like, oh,
it's great,
God, dude.
It's pretty good.
So
that could take off. The student section would love that.
It should. And it was funny because I was at the game and I'm like, it's peanut butter time. People are like, what are you talking about, man? I'm like, and
And
jelly.
jelly. And then all you have to do is say and jelly. And it's like
But people
every,
like it
they
takes
loved
a
it.
few moments to figure it out.
Well, yeah.
You kind of feel dumb. And then you feel like a goofball when you say that. And it's just like, you know what? I'm just having fun with it, whatever. So
I think most people would take it tongue in cheek. It's pretty cute.
so
I think the students would get it. I mean, students like that kind of stuff.
think about it. If they had a t-shirt that said peanut
T-shirt.
butter with like a peanut butter and
That's what I
jelly.
mean. It'd be a whole thing. Anytime he
Oh my
came
God.
in, it'd be a big deal. It'd
Oh,
be
maybe I should do that for We Are Indie Nation. Screw anybody else. You know what? I'm bleeping this whole section out just so I
all
can,
right.
just so I can put this t-shirt together. Maybe I'll just do
Wait, maybe
that
you
for the
should.
maybe I should.
You should.
I'll have to clip art the peanut butter.
You'll just have to be like, uh, what did they did on SpongeBob? Short time later, where it's just like that screen. It's just
I
like
we need to
meanwhile,
later.
yeah.
20 days later.
Yeah, that's it.
So that would be perfect. So yeah, what a passing wise. I mean, this team was amazing. I put some
Passing's great. They can. I mean, look. Again, it was lesser opponents, so let's not crown ourselves anything yet. And I'll get to who's already crowned themselves the first round pick and Heisman winner and everything, and it's blowing my mind, and I can't wait.
Wait, is it the guy from Colorado or is it
Oh no!
our
You know
boy
what? That's
Mr.
going to be
F
my change.
or Mr. F? This guy, that
It's a little place I like to call the University of Spoiled Children.
yeah. Oh yeah,
And
he's already won the Heisman.
yeah, and his father has already come out, and they said, which this is cool for athletes.
I read this today
This is not
too.
what
So
I'm
go ahead.
This is not what I'm poo-pooing on. I'm poo-pooing on the fact that his cocksure father is this already locked in that he's the first pick overall, and if a team like whoever the Browns have the first round pick, that he would decide to stay at USC to see because he can get more NIL money. That is awesome. Get your money. But the fact that you're so confident that your kid is already going to be sure, have confidence in your kid stuff, but for fuck's sake, man. Number one, I mean, and it's real. So we'll see. And I think now the new Heisman frontrunner. I mean, sure, everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid on this, but Shedeur Sanders had 510 yards in one game. Deion Sanders, whatever. I mean, I knew he was a coach, but I didn't think they would come out like that and have Colorado playing like this already. So never bet against Deion Sanders. And
You're supposed to get into this in the second segment, man. But no.
We're moving. I'm jumping ahead. We can still get into it.
Oh, good.
So, but that's just like little things,
So
we're gonna keep talking about Tennessee State stats. The defense looked great. It was what they should do against these opponents.
Right. Yeah. So what I put in our little rundown, Notre Dame had 221 yards on the ground, 6.7 yards per carry. 13 receivers this week caught a pass. 13. I think 13 all of last year caught a pass. If that. I mean, we'd be lucky to even look back to see what that was.
That's really great.
The one thing that bothered me, obviously, I put this in there too. 1 sack. That was it. There wasn't much of a pass rush that I saw. But then again, they were trying to run.
You know what? This team, I don't think they can generate a pass rush. They don't have Foskey. They don't have any other. And nobody's getting double teamed, I don't think either. Nobody's that dominant on that line. Maybe Botello will finally come around.
Well, Botello, I think, was the one that got the 1 sack, and then the kid out of Ohio State got like
not even in mop-up time, huh?
No, 1 sack the entire game. So that's what bothers me going into in 2 weeks.
That
Ohio State game.
What is it, Javonte Jean-Baptiste? I mean,
yeah, Baptiste, exactly.
I hope he it's a little more than advertised because right now he's not doing much.
I mean,
I guess nobody is.
He's a big body right now, and they're stopping the run. Their defense, I mean, they're only giving up 2.6 yards per carry. So I can't really say that is a bad thing right there.
Yeah, but I mean, Navy usually rushes the ball a little bit. I'm sure they're at, well, that's all they ever do. But this school, I don't know, Tennessee State, they're a little bit, I don't think they're known for rushing the ball that much either, though, or their passing prowess.
Not at all, no.
Just
No, so
it's
so
just
that
one of
was
those. It's just less. You could just tell it was like our third string were better than their.
their
That's
start.
and that's great to see. It's finally nice to see that maybe Notre Dame's talent is just right there by the Alabamas and the Ohio States and Georgia, obviously.
So the fact that we played Tennessee State University, first time we played at FCS school, also the first time we played a historical Black college university school. So
I
HBCU.
think that's fantastic. The FCS part, I mean, I'm glad it was an HBCU. If that's what we're going to schedule, then let's schedule an HBCU because people forget that HBCUs dominated before, during segregation or before segregation.
Yep.
By the way, I might not be saying that right, but I'm sure the audience will understand what I'm getting at. Those kids, there's so many in the Hall of Fame that went to HBCU.
So I met this group of, it was three people. It was two older gentlemen and a woman. So Heather and I stopped at the Wendy's on the way to Bob Evans to get us a Frosty. So they're wearing their Tennessee State gear and they're like, oh, that was a great game. You guys played so well. It was really cool for us to come here this weekend and experience what Notre Dame has compared to what like they have. And then they were going over some of the players that have played in the HBCU.
Richard Dent, I think, went to Tennessee
Richard
State.
Dent was one of them. Obviously Jerry Rice. You had
so many.
You had
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton was one too. I
Steve
thought
McNair.
Deacon Jones also. I could be wrong on that, but holy shit, the amount of players that came out early on from the HBCU schools was unreal.
Oh, Jack Tatum, who's the hardest hitter?
Tatum.
The Raiders was
the safety.
Yeah.
Yep, the guy who I think he killed somebody on the field. But I could be wrong. I mean, not purposely killed.
Of course not. That's just a violent game.
But and it seems like there's a lot of teams that come into Notre Dame and they, play fans. I'm talking about, and they have this machismo that they're going to beat us or something like that. They were happy to be there regardless of the game. They just wanted the experience, and they were so they thanked us for like the hospitality. I'm like, this was fucking cool as hell, man.
Yeah,
I loved it. And just like people were just, hugging each other. And it's like, obviously it's not like it's going to be for Ohio State. It's not going to be like that if we ever play Michigan. That shit doesn't happen. No. But the respect, it was the respect that we were shown for bringing them in to play them was.
Well, I'd like to think that, but not because we had to or because because Notre Dame is this, because again, I'm not religious, but Notre Dame is this Catholic higher withholding. So for that, they should give just as much respect to the Tennessee State being an HBCU, if not more, than they were giving Notre Dame. That's all I'm saying.
And what bothered me during the past week, even after the loss, I've seen people in different Notre Dame groups say how horrible it was that we gave them an opportunity to come.
And to me, there's an underlying tone, whether or not
obviously there is. And that's
really problem. To me, that's because why? What's the problem?
What was the problem with Marshall then coming last year? Or
well, they're not because it's an FCS school, and people want to have that mystique of Notre Dame's never played an FCS school. Well, who cares? Because
was it the FCS or was it the HBCU?
I think it was the HBCU. That's what I think. I mean, I haven't seen any of those comments because I'm not on any message boards and stuff I'm not on social media.
I mean, it was.
But I could see it, and again, I could be completely wrong. But I'm sure there was a certain percentage of people where that was the exact reason.
It was a very small percent, but yes, there was.
Because remember, there's like myself and we're diehard fans. We like to think we went there, but we're some way along. And there's tons of us like that. They never went to ND, but they think they did. And I'm sure that's that group of ignorance, if you will, that thinks that way.
As a friend of mine says, the old whites. That's usually where
then shame, because then if you love this university that holds God country Notre Dame in such high regard, then you're the biggest fucking hypocrite walking, and maybe you should pick a different school, asshat.
There you go. You are 100% spot on with that
Oh.
comment. Yeah, absolutely. Just love what you said.
Because again, I'm not religious, but I choose to love this school because, you know, because that's what I know. And it's just funny the hypocrisy that you're gonna, oh, Our Lady of the Golden Dome, I love you, touchdowns all, and then you're gonna fucking be a bigoted dick, you fuckers. Sorry, I can't stand bigotry. You can edit that out too.
And like I said,
Think about it. It's like you're such a
love everybody except for those people.
Except for those people.
Love everybody except for those people over there. Or
yeah.
Like you said, it's just 100% bigotry for anybody that would bash a HBCU school, even coming to Notre Dame or even playing them. So
it makes no sense. It makes zero sense because, again, we need to lighten up the schedule. So let's do it again, because I would like to see a national championship.
We all would. And there was also another thing that I kind of posted in the We Are Indy Nation group. I asked if Notre Dame were to join a conference, which one would it be? And I listed ACC, SEC, or Big 10. Now, you and I have discussed, I want them to join a conference. You said that you wanted them to join a conference. Which one to you makes sense for them to join if they were to do so?
Big 10, because you could really see the Big 10 overtaking the SEC in a couple. I mean, the SEC's always been top heavy. Let's face facts. They'll always throw that one other team in there, but it's always Alabama and Georgia, and then you throw Clemson in. Every once in a while, obviously LSU a couple times, but in Auburn was almost 10 years ago.
Tennessee here and there.
But Tennessee here and there, they haven't played for national title worthy since Peyton Manning.
Yeah, correct.
So yeah, they were number one at one point last year, but then they got pasted by South Carolina, and they finished a good year. But they beat an Alabama team that was vulnerable. Alabama wasn't the usual Alabama. What I'm saying is, it's always been three teams and throw in an extra fourth or fifth. The Big 10, granted, it's been Ohio State. Michigan's just got back in Penn State, but now with USC coming in. And you see UCLA coming in, and Penn State's been at a level that's been consistent for a couple years with James Franklin. I think Luke Fickell will do well at the Big 10 at Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. Michigan State is still there.
Michigan State's there with Mel Tucker, and then there's always the PJ Fleck factor at Minnesota. Man, that guy sometimes.
Iowa.
Yeah, Kirk Ferentz is still. So then you have Ole Miss and stuff. It's almost splitting hairs between SEC and Big 10. And then the SEC will always say, well, we have more national championship. When's the last time? And that's true. They obviously have won. The last time the Big 10 won was Cardell Jones, I think, in the very first playoff, right?
2016?
15 or 16, wasn't it? Yeah,
somewhere right around there.
Yeah, and then so it's tough. But you can see the Big 10 taking over as that, they'll win 2 out of the 3. I'm not saying Ohio State will win back-to-back, but it could be Ohio State, Michigan, God no. But Ohio State, or I think Notre Dame. Plus, logistically, it just makes sense. And then we would have. Think of the rivalry we would have. The Michigan rivalry all the time. Michigan State rivalry all the time. USC rivalry all the time. Come on. Wouldn't you like to see SC at Notre Dame Stadium in November and it's snowing?
Yeah, that's exactly what you said like a few weeks ago. So that was my main reasoning, was the rivalries. You bring back, the Michigan every year, Ohio State once in a while. You bring back Michigan State. Obviously, you'll still have USC, but then you could bring in
Then you could be in Penn State, Notre Dame,
Purdue. You could do
Purdue again.
Indiana. Think about what Indiana was Notre Dame. Even though most likely will wax their ass, it would still be fun to do so. Even Illinois. When was the last time, or has Notre Dame ever played Illinois?
I think it's been a long time.
I think
Bielema was calling for that too. So I think it makes the most sense.
So it does make the most sense.
But again, you start new ones like Notre Dame. Penn State was always good when they were independents, and then the last time I think they played was whatever Clausen, I think, wasn't it? Weiss, they think that. Yeah,
they're like 2005,
7. That was that bad year. No, because we beat them we killed them that one game. Remember the second game of the season where they were, and then they turned around and killed us. It was Brady's senior year, I think, and then we went to Happy Valley and just got absolutely crushed. And that was Jimmy Clausen's first start, right?
So the main reason why I brought this up was there was a lot of people in the group that commented, no, no, they didn't want them to join a conference. And I asked,
Oh, people are still saying no.
oh, there was a good majority. I would say 80, 20%. 80% said no, 20% said yes. So the 80%, I commented back. I said, why?
Mhm.
The main thing was tradition. And our school is better than their school. And I go, that makes zero sense in the landscape of college football today. I'm not talking about the school. The school itself, yes, Notre Dame is known for everything else, and then football. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna segue into. I want you to continue. I'm not trying to.
Oh, so yeah, so it was like these people are just holding on to that tradition. So it's just funny because then I'm like, people, and then there was one guy, he kind of got on me, even said some racist shit, and I ended up kicking him out of the group. So who? I don't.
No, I said good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
we don't need to know who or whatever.
Nobody spouted that. I was like, he's gone. But so his main thing was change isn't always good. I go, fine, get off your computer and give me your cell phone.
Nice, right.
And he's like, well, I'm not going to do that. I go, well, change isn't
always good.
I go, right? Have you been to the stadium when they changed the field? Because the turf is actually pretty fucking cool. How they revamped the stadium in the area around there.
Right. How many people were opposed to the going into
the new scoreboard with the screen? That's amazing. I absolutely love it.
Evan, that's it. That's everything right there.
So you want to just sit back there with having diesel fuel and no seatbelts in cars because that's what we did back in the day.
Right. I just want to go back to listen to my Little Orphan Annie on my radio and drinking my fucking Ovaltine.
See, you got to move forward. And this is what college football is today. You have the NIL. It is everywhere. You got dudes making over $3 million a year.
Okay.
College football players making $3 million. It's not going to go away. It's not.
It's not. So this goes back to what I was bragging on earlier. And Dabo Sweeney, they're saying, he's like, is Dabo Sweeney not a dad? Because he doesn't do any transfer portal shit or anything. And that's exactly what I was saying about Notre Dame.
You will get left behind.
We will get left behind. Dabo, look what happened. No transfers, nothing. And Duke rocked them. They couldn't even get out of their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's adamant. We all know how he feels about the transfer portal. So there was an article about that today. And so I'm using that article. Thank you for whoever wrote that article. And it just doubled down on my going in about Notre Dame of it's time to tweak it up, man. You know what? You got to pay a couple kids now. Maybe you got to join a conference. To me, that Big 10 TV deal gives you, I think I could be wrong. I got to look at the numbers, so I'm just grabbing what I used to know. It's more money than NBC we would get just from NBC. I think it's almost 20 to 30 million more.
That was the other argument was, well, we can play anybody that we want to.
Oh, great. Look at our schedules.
No, you can't.
Right, because we're locked in with the ACC for this stupid fuck.
Exactly. You're locked in with that. And then, if you're trying to play other schools as an independent, sure, there will be other schools that want to play you because you are Notre Dame. But it's going to be tougher going forward.
And the mystique isn't there anymore, to say, oh, the NBC. Man, you know how many games are on? And then there'll be repeat. The Colorado TCU game has already been on 4 times.
Yeah, exactly.
Every team has their own national network.
So, and you and I discussed this in an earlier episode too. Once Swarbrick is out in about a year, less than a year, I think it is now. The new guy who Lisa said last week is basically.
I think he's got to change with the times, or Notre Dame will never win.
He has to, because if he goes into this, sure, he's going to get flack. Everybody's going to get flack whenever.
Oh, everybody is. Like those people were just saying to you, tradition.
Exactly. Tradition. So once that happens, he's going to get flack. But then once every year we start playing all these really fucking cool schools that are in the Big 10 or in our area, it'll be even better. And just,
the only thing you can say, it doesn't hurt because there's a 12-team playoff field. So that's a legit argument for someone to say, well, they don't have to, for the simple fact that they're still getting, they might not get as much money, but they're still getting a lot from NBC. Cool. They're still on a national TV every week, and even other networks will pick them up. Cool. Maybe not, though. We'll see. I don't know how that's going to work. And then we'll get in at like 10-2 maybe, as long as we're in the top 12, or well, not even top 12, but as long as we can, because what is it? If there's 4 or 5 conferences, the 4 or 5 conference winners get an automatic in.
I was
right?
going to say there's going to be the automatic bid. So right there, you're already, at least as of this moment, five spots are taken out of the 12.
And that allows you can mess up in the regular season and still win your conference and still get a bye.
Mm-hmm.
How does this not resonate with anybody?
Because again, people are blinded by the tradition part of everything.
Everybody wants to play this dumbass murderer's row schedule. Guess what? It's not 1988 anymore. Wake up, motherfuckers.
You're preaching to the choir right now.
And who is more traditionalist than me? I mean, how long have...
That's why it was hilarious the first time you ever told me that, yes, you wanted them to join a conference, because growing up with you, you were the total opposite of that.
I was like those Nimrods.
Yeah, exactly. You were like, you can't do that because it's
we're the best state ever.
And the moment you said that you wanted them to join a conference, I swear to God, I like literally shit my pants, because I was like, who is this guy? I don't know Dennis anymore.
Sometimes you may not want to change, but
guess what?
Just have to.
You adapt.
You grow up. You mature a little bit.
You grow up, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, one other little point before we start doing the name that player. How about LSU getting waxed by who doesn't love seeing Brian Kelly come unprepared once again for a big game on prime time?
It's true, man. He couldn't. But yeah, I was convinced he might have got over the hump by beating Bama, but last year. But I mean, the Florida State team might be good.
2 years in a row, he loses the opening game.
I mean, that might be good. I was not a believer in Mike Norvell, but I mean, we'll see how the season plays out. But damn, that team looks good. They look fat. But guess what they did? They went to free agency. Got some studs.
Yep.
Now they got a team. And
like you said, Clemson lost to Duke. That one is going to obviously, it's going to be a little tough for Notre Dame strength.
Florida State might run away with the ACC.
And then obviously we were talking about Deion earlier. The one thing that I like, and you know me growing up, I was
that was your
biggest. No, Deion.
That was your guy.
I had
21 everywhere.
I had my license plate was Falcon 21. Yeah. I had a tattoo with the number 21 on it.
That's right.
Because of Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I remember.
So I absolutely, and I don't know if you know this, but the past 2 days, Colorado's merch sold out.
Is that right?
Dude, there was this hoodie that I wanted. You saw the one he was wearing where it said Colorado was white.
Oh, the sleeves on that thing were sick. They were like V-cut, and
I looked it up. I had it in my cart on Sunday night. $55. Yesterday, I go into my cart last night. So 24 hours later, every size was completely out except for 3 smalls. I started then clicking other hoodies.
Unbelievable.
Going through all the other hoodies, everything was sold out. And then I read somewhere that it is the most selling college football team right now, and they can't hold on to their merch currently.
Unbelievable.
And not only just Colorado, but the one that says Coach Prime, which is even cooler too. But I would rather see Colorado than Coach Prime.
He is
his own
special
entity, man.
He is. I love what he said after the game. That was awesome because he's right. There are so many people that are threatened by him. And by people, I mean white college head coaches.
Yep.
Crying.
I love it.
Crying. And he's making them look like fucking chumps. And I can't wait till he makes Lincoln Riley look like a chump too. I hope he.
God, if they did that, if they upset you,
I'm calling it now. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in a couple of weeks? But I think they play them.
I'm going to mark this episode at this point.
Okay.
Saying what?
Because I think they play him in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I think Colorado's going to go in there and they might say, well, I think we have a Heisman Trophy winner too. And I think they're going to beat USC.
Oh.
He's got those kids running through a wall and diving over a cliff. I mean.
Saucy.
I want to play for him. I'm going to be 40 fucking 8. I mean, it's unbelievable what he's doing.
Yeah, Dion's just got. I mean, the fact that they had one win all of last year, and I think the one stat I saw was he is the first team, I think, ever to win a game after having one or less losses and beating a ranked team the next year.
Yeah. I mean, I remember in our preseason episode, I was saying, man, he's going to do good, but I'm not buying him yet. And I was like, oh, Jackson State, how's he going to do in the Pac-12? Dude, Coach Prime, I'm sorry, I don't eat that humble pie because you made me look like a fool. So
yeah, and then one last thing before, I mean, this is now our seventh last thing before we go to break.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let's do it next segment. So let's get to name that format.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, right on.
All right. So this week is going to be a fun one because this is the first time I'm going to give him kickers. Kickers.
Oh, amazing.
Literally kickers. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So here we go. This is what we got. So this kicker played, and hopefully this kind of gets you right away. He played from 2011 to 2014. He had 117 extra points made to 119 extra points attempted. He had 57 field goals made, 81 attempts, 70% in field goals, 288 career points. Now, here are your options. Ready? We got David Ruffer, Justin Yoon, Kyle Brinza, Jonathan Dorer. Does Dennis have an idea? I think he does. I think he does. So we're going to go to break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about what to expect against the North Carolina State Wolfpack. I think it's a Wolfpack. I hope they got that right. I think it is. And then we'll talk about that game and also what changes we have already gone through after 2 games for what we see Notre Dame for the rest of the year. Dennis definitely has some stuff to talk about right there. So you know who we are. I am Evan J. Thomas. Dennis Stover here. We are ND Nation Podcast. Stick right here. We'll be back in about 40 seconds, literally. All right, back here. We are ND Nation Podcast. Evan J. Thomas, Dennis Stover, talking about now going into the reveal of name that former Notre Dame player. This is a fun one because this is the first time I've given him kickers. So this is what we're going to do. He does have a multiple choice, and here is what was that?
That's like the table football, and then you kick the field goal. I don't have a table, so remember that you slide it. Yeah,
up or down.
Well, we're Gen X people, so there's younger cats that they're watching. She's like, what are these fuckers doing?
Is it a 3-step? Is it a 5-step? Or is it a side step or 5? I mean, or is it straight ahead? Just kind of boot it like, you know, you're kicking.
Oh yeah, when I played my sophomore year, there was a guy who kicked straight on.
Yeah, we knew, you and I knew a guy that used to kick and punt a cat here and there too. That was a fun.
Oh yeah, I remember that guy. What a good guy.
I still somewhat talk.
He really is great. Oh, good. You got to tell him I said, hey, what's up?
Yeah, I will.
I hope he listens to this show.
I'm gonna forward it to him, John Martinez. I will forward it to you so that way he could listen to it and actually get called out on that. I mean, yeah, he did kick a cat, but the cat lived. He didn't die. So no cats were hurt in the.
Great. Now we're gonna get knocked by PETA in our comment section.
Oh fuck, man! No cats were hurt in the telling of this story. Okay,
that's all right. I'm gonna eat rabbit later on. So
nice.
Anyway, all right. Name that player.
Here's your info. This kicker, 2011 to 2014, he had 117 career extra point made, 119 attempts, so he missed 2. Field goals, 57 for 81 for 70.4%. 288 career points. Here are your options: David Ruffer, Justin Yoon, Kyle Brinza, Jonathan Dorer. Dennis, name that former Notre Dame player.
Kyle Brinza? Woo!
Nailed it.
Oh, nice.
Was it the
Justin
year?
Yoon it was the year because I was like, wait, Justin. I was like, before you even after you said the stats and the year, I was thinking Justin Yoon.
Okay.
But then when you said Kyle Brinza, I was like, oh, no, it's Kyle Brinza because I remembered he came right after Kyle Brinza, so it was later.
Correct, because I actually got to see Yoon at the college playoff in Dallas.
That's right. Yeah, 2018.
So I got to see him. That was his last year. So, and plus Yoon is the all-time leader in points. Brinza is number 2.
Yeah, he held it for 1 year, or well, at least 4
years. I tried to
years.
make sure I got it close, at least in years and points too. So
that's good, because those were tough, man. So I was gonna be like, oh, Justin Yoon, because he's all-time point, and then I was like, wait.
Good job. And I think Yoon had over 300.
Yeah, he got a lot. I mean, he kicked as a freshman. It was awesome.
Exactly. So there you go. Dennis nailed it. He's 2 weeks in a row now. And I do have to throw this in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Episode number 6.
Listen up, drum roll.
I mean, I've already announced it on Facebook.
Oh, okay. Well, go ahead then.
But we have college football Hall of Famer, Notre Dame Hall of Famer, wide receiver Tom Gatewood is going to be here on this episode, and we are going to try not to swear.
Yeah, we're not going to swear that time. No mimicking a blowjob.
None of that, huh?
Jesus. None of that. But man, how awesome is that? Evan, great job, man.
Tom Gatewood. This is like 2 years in the making. I've been trying to get him on.
This is a just
huge name. I mean, we've
so excited
on here before. We've had Zorich. We've had.
I mean, to top this would be like if we got for Notre Dame lore, like Rocket, or for me, Rick Meyer.
There's a bunch
really
of
exciting.
Tim Brown,
anyway,
Jerome Bettis,
Tim Brown, Jerome Bettis.
Meyer. Obviously, we'll never get Joe Montana. He just doesn't do.
I mean, we got to get some. Yeah, Joe would be
epic. Even Jimmy
Joe Theismann would be pretty ridiculous.
Joe Theismann would be good too. And I got to meet him. I actually got to meet all of them. So that's pretty cool.
What about Steve Berline?
Ooh, I could reach out to some of these older dudes. It's weird because these young cats, man, they don't want to come on. I don't know what's up with them.
Because they're doing their own, because it's like that Dr. Pepper commercial. Everybody's got a podcast now.
When that came on, and you texted me right when that came on, I literally was cracking up laughing because I'm like, you said that, and then you texted me, you're like, there it is. Like, yep.
Those commercials are great, man.
They are. All right. Are we ready to talk a little bit about North Carolina State?
Yeah.
So looking at their quarterback, they played one game. I didn't even look.
He transferred from Virginia, right?
Brennan Armstrong.
I think so. I don't know if this year, but I'm pretty sure he transferred at some point from Virginia. This may be his second year at there. He's
a senior though. Last week he was 17 of 26 for 155 yards, no touchdowns.
Right.
But on the ground, he had 19 carries for 96 yards. So he's going to be a little scamper. I can see that happening. Let's see.
They always play tough defense. But I guess their defensive coordinator, we've seen them. I read this morning. He was at Syracuse last year. And then before that, he was at Virginia. So we've gone up against his defenses 3 times already. So Freeman, they've seen it. So we got tape on him because we played those schools. We played Syracuse last year. I like to think we dominated a lot of those schools. So that's kind of a positive. Our offense should be able to push those cats around.
Yes.
From what I read in that article.
Looking right now, last week they played.
But their defense would be tough.
They played UConn at UConn, and they won 24-14. So
UConn, at UConn. I mean, UConn's coached by Mora, but he's trying. But UConn's been down for a long time. But their offense could, this will be nice for the simple fact this could give us a test. Yes, our defense has been shutting down the run. But it's lesser opponents. This ought to be a good one. And I think maybe they're thinking on that too. They played last week, right? So it's not like they had a bye week to get ready for us.
Correct. They did play last week. Like I said, they won 24-14.
Notre Dame, barring it being a hurricane and they decide to pass the ball 90% of the game, we should win. I'm talking about that game from.
It's an actual early game. I'm looking right now.
I know. I'm excited. Noon.
11 a.m.
Noon for me. Yeah.
Wow. So I could actually get to the Oktoberfest event that I want to go to earlier than I expected.
Oh, man.
Awesome. I even have my lederhosen with me. Oh, maybe I'll wear that next week.
Yeah, your lederhosen?
Yeah, I bought it. Yeah, it's legit leather too.
Really?
Not comfortable at all.
Oh, it's like real shit.
It's real shit. And it's expensive too. It's not cheap either.
Wow, you really went in for
I
Oktoberfest, huh?
did. I'm really liking this beer thing. So,
Hey, I think that's fuck
digging
yeah,
it.
man. Live
And
it up, dude.
and not only that, I got to thank Dennis for giving me my first couple good beers.
Yeah, actual decent
Back in the
beers
day,
besides like PBR or something.
I fucking hated beers up until like all
Yeah.
of a sudden Dennis was like, "Here, try this." He would just give me beers to try, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Ah, this one's crap. This one's crap."
Yeah, man, among other
First one. Do you
things.
remember the first one that I actually started liking? Let's see if
Blue
you remember.
Moon?
No. It was
Fat Tire.
no
No.
Dos Equis.
Dos Equis. That is a good lager. I like Dos Equis.
Dos
Better than
Equis.
Modelo, but Modelo is like a huge
Modelo
seller right now. I think Modelo is outselling Budweiser or something like that.
outselling Corona.
That's crazy. I don't like Modelo that much. I like
I like
for Mexican
Modelo
beers.
Brown.
I like Pacifico. I like Bohemia.
Mhm.
It's really delicious. Yeah, that's a good one. You should try that.
Yeah, I remember Pacifico because I remember you always had that one.
And if you really like, have you ever had any sour beers?
Oh yeah, that
Don't.
Mike
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
You sound
actually-
like you know what you're doing now. So
yeah.
yeah, I love sour beers. They're so
There
refreshing.
was one that I tried a few weeks ago. It was a peach sour beer, which was
Ooh.
awesome.
Sounds great.
Awesome. I mean, you talk about a good beer for fall or
Yeah.
autumn, whatever. That's a good one. I actually like pumpkin beer too. There's some out there. It has to have more of a spice to it than just regular pumpkin taste. So that's kind of what I've been into lately is stuff like that. And
So tell me, what is pumpkin spice? Could it be
it's like
nutmeg
cinnamon.
and
It
cinnamon
has a cinnamon
and
taste.
allspice? Maybe mace sometimes? I
mean,
think those are just called spices because
you would know.
pumpkin is a squash. Yeah, no, that's what fucking cracks me up about this pumpkin spice thing. God damn, it's so easy to I'm not knocking, I'm just like pumpkin spice in fucking March. It's it's just funny because they can sell anything to Americans, I swear, if they just put some silly little thing on it. It's just like, see, this is a fucking, to me, this is a rock. And if I call this something special, motherfuckers will just eat this up.
This show's going off the rails today, man. This is what happens when we don't have a guest. We just shoot the shit and just go back.
Yeah, because we haven't talked. So sorry, man. It's like, well, this is what the show is initially was supposed to be. Just
Yeah,
us kind of, because this is
exactly.
what we do on the couch when we live together. So it's kind of
We do well that, and then you fall asleep at noon after the za, or we're waiting for the za.
yeah.
You know, and that
Smoked
was
baked out of my mind.
those were the days when like every game started at like 11 or noon.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah.
So, and you were done by 3:00, and you were half asleep by 2. It was fucking great.
So great.
Do
And then we
you have
go out Saturday night.
exactly? Do you have a score prediction for Saturday?
Score prediction. I'm gonna say it'll be because I think it'll be close for like maybe halftime. I think maybe Notre Dame can have maybe a 6-point lead, depending. I think the offense will move the ball, and I think we'll get going. And I think that the offensive line will take over. We've had 2 games to tune up. They've had the one. It is on the road, but Notre Dame always seems to play better on the road. Lately, anyway. And I think Freeman is coming into his stride. I feel like the man. It's his team. He's coaching them. Like it feels good. It feels really good. I hope I was wrong about all my earlier predictions about giving shit to Gerard Parker because he's called some pretty good games so far. So I think Notre Dame, I'm going to say 31, maybe I'll say 31-13.
Wow. You are very close to what I just wrote down earlier. I have 38-13.
Nice.
One more touchdown. I see it happening.
Right. You're right. That offense is sick.
I don't know if it'll be close, but once Notre Dame is 3 touchdowns ahead, I think they will pull Hartman again. Depending on
where in the game they're at.
Depending
on
how
keep their defensive starters out.
Depending on how the offense is rolling.
Yeah.
If they're off, he'll stay in.
Right.
But if he's 17 for 19 again, or 17 for 20,
hit some big ones
out of there, get him out.
Yeah.
If they've hit 20 receivers or 7, whatever they, have. That's kind of what you need to have. All right. So we have our scores in. Dennis was texting me earlier. This Dennis right here, the guy who's on the screen with me. He was texting me earlier about, I might be wrong about Notre Dame this year. Tell me what you think already after 2 games that you're wrong about.
Well, I had made mention of the continuity or the gelling of the new coaches in their positions that they've never been. And we didn't really have a lot of work on Gerard Parker, like I was talking about. But I guess when you have some good tools in your toolbox, it's easy to, 13 different guys catching the football, 5 cats in the running game. Would have had 5 if Ford. I don't know how they didn't at least look at that. It may not have been targeting, but at least look at it. But he got rocked.
Oh yeah, that was that play early in the game.
Yeah.
And they
so that kind of worried me a little bit because I was like, that could have been difference. But the defense held. Yep. I want to see I still really, hopefully we don't get gashed in the run. Back to that other question. Sorry, I was zoning out for a minute, thinking about. It's getting excited. Why do I change? Because again, they're calling good games. There's a lot of weapons. They really have a lot of weapons, and I like the way he doesn't abandon the run like Reese did. I don't know if it's because there's no reason for Tommy to abandon the run like he did. We had running backs.
Yeah, we had 3 last year.
Then I had 5, but we had at least 3, 4 good running backs last year. He's not so. Well, again, he's got Sam Hartman, so it's not.
I was gonna say he is the biggest, kind of.
Yeah, he almost has a crutch.
Yeah.
So
like I said, the first,
like next year when he's calling plays and he's got either Angeli or Minchie or maybe CJ Carr is starting, how good is he going to be then? Exactly. How good is he going to be when Alt goes first round and maybe Blake Fisher? So that's a lot of what ifs. But with that being said, I think Marcus Freeman. Not that I was ever worried about him, but it's a second year as a head coach, and Notre Dame is not the place to learn how to be a head coach. But hell, man, he's really. Whatever it feels like it's his team.
Yeah.
Like it feels like he gets it for some reason.
He's put his stamp on it.
Yeah. Even though there's still a lot of Kelly's guys. Granted, he's been there for 3 years now. So he did have a hand in recruiting some of these cats and whatnot. But and honestly, I think the players look faster and more physical and more. They look like they got some swagger and just like they want to hit some motherfuckers. Like they just play with a little chip on their shoulder, man.
They look athletic. They look
athletic, yeah. They got young youth out there and stuff.
They're utilizing the youth too, like you said. Brian Kelly never did. He
never did. They're rotating well, and it's I was worried about Al Golden and how the linebackers would play, and maybe I'm wrong about them. I still saw him overrunning the ball a couple of times, but for not being able to get to the quarterback. And I think that just might be. I think Jalen Sneed was like right there like 3 times, and he's so that's. I want to see them young players get in there. I didn't think they'd be playing the young players a lot, and they are. So those are all the reasons why I think I could have been wrong. And I know I predicted 9-3, and I'll stick with it because I have to, because you can't be one of those idiots that are like, oh my God, I'm not saying they're going to run the table.
I was going to say, especially after 2 games.
Yeah. I'm still not completely saying I'm drinking the Kool-Aid because, and they could win big this week, or they could barely win. I just see there's just a little difference from this year to last. Even Kelly's last year with Jack Cohen, it just seems. Like
now the difference, like you said, last year was little. That was because of
they didn't have the athletes this year. Right.
I gotta throw the ball around.
Yeah, you can only throw it to your tight end. You can only throw it to the Tin Man. Oh yeah.
That rockhead caught everything. So Jesus Christ!
He was. That guy's gonna have.
You can't see
over. Oh, Kyle Rudolph just retired. I think
I saw that 13 years.
We should get him on.
I actually tweeted him. I haven't heard back.
Congratulations, Kyle, on a great year. I hope you watch and go Irish.
And I will tag Kyle Rudolph in this post on Twitter to see if he
Nice.
pays attention.
Name drop.
We're looking at getting guests on the show. Like I said, in 2 weeks, we got Tom Gatewood, the College Football Hall of Famer.
Tom Gatewood,
Hall of Famer.
Caught passes from Joe Thiesman.
Thiesman. Not even
That's what it was, wasn't it?
No,
Isn't that the story? Yeah.
Thiesman.
And then he was running, and somehow, and he's a great quarterback, but I still don't know how Jim Plunkett won. That cat was good as fuck, though.
So Tom like rarely goes on any podcast, and I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple times. Awesome, really nice guy. And if you don't know who his grandson is, here's one for you.
Ooh.
AJ Dillon, Green Bay
Is that right?
running back. Yep.
Oh, awesome.
So we could possibly
Holy
bring him
cow.
up.
Didn't he he went to Boston College?
He did, and he was.
How did we let him get away?
Well, we will discuss that with Tom.
Oh, I can't wait. Right. This is such a good preview. 2 weeks
This
away.
is a nice little. This is what you
It's like
call
this
it.
is how you drop on social media bombs, huh? This is how the kids do it nowadays.
We get the teaser and the
Teaser.
the.
This is like a teaser trailer.
Exactly. So we get to hear what Tom Gatewood. He's also he has some award that's being given away. That's also the week of the Ohio State game. It is a huge week for We Are Indie Nation podcast. It's a huge week for Dennis and I.
It's a huge week for you.
I mean, the fact that we got this guy to come on and talk Notre Dame football, his life. This might be a 2-hour show. You never fucking know. And I know that's.
I mean, I'm gonna dig up some stuff too.
Come up with questions, whatever you have.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Throw it into our little rundown. We could discuss it with Tom, but yes, it'll be amazing. And I do have to thank my buddy Julian Rosales.
Yeah, Julian, you rock.
Dude, you've gotten me so many Notre Dame tickets and hanging out at different tailgates. This one, though, nailed it, bro. So
Julian is
coming up
in
2 weeks.
That guy?
That episode will be on the 22nd that it'll drop. It's a day before the Ohio State game, like I said. We record our shows on Wednesdays normally, and we have them on the 20th. So that week, get ready because we have Tom Gatewood. College football, Hall of Famer, Hall of Famer, top 50 all-time Notre Dame player as well.
Well, yeah, he held all the receiving records forever.
Up until Michael Floyd.
Yeah, held them all.
Yep, he held them all up until Michael Floyd.
Legend, man.
Absolutely legend. If we get to have him here.
Fuck yes.
2 weeks. Fuck yes. And there'll be a lot of bleeps if we have to do it in this.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna do really well. I'm gonna control myself. I'm sorry, I'm sweating profusely. It's very hot in New York today. The apartment is hot, so I apologize if I look.
I'm in an enclosed room right now with no air as well, so I'm pretty tough.
Yeah.
I'm about to blow this pop stand, as you know the kids used to say.
That was great. Yeah, I guess we got to all that stuff early. Yeah, but yeah, Clemson. All my predictions, I might be so wrong, and I will be more than happy to be wrong about that shit.
You can eat crow.
Oh, I'll eat crow. I mean, that's what the best ones do. Know when to say they're fucking wrong.
There you go. Exactly. And I have Notre Dame still at 11-1.
Yeah, you're right. And like Lisa said last week, if they beat Ohio State, she thinks they'll run the table. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, we gotta get.
I gotta see him get all the way to the end, but yeah, it sure would be nice, man. Let's have one game season at a time.
There you go. So Dennis, amazing show as always.
Yeah, really good show, man.
He has Notre Dame winning this weekend. You said 31-13.
31-13, yeah.
I have 38-13. So my God, Notre Dame fans might be going apeshit if they give up a touchdown because it hasn't happened yet this year.
Yeah, but still, that would just be, hopefully that's just one touchdown then. That's pretty impressive, man, if that's the case.
I do have to say the fact that they blocked that field goal after that play, like you said.
Right.
Amazing.
That's right.
I mean, that place was going insane after that call anyway.
Yeah, because it's 7-3, and it's like, again, it still would have taken over, but it's just nice because now we're number 10 instead of dropping, which we could have if we didn't win by enough. But yeah, it's nice, man. And again, this season, LSU's down. Who would have saw Clemson losing? and Colorado coming out of nowhere, and Ohio State barely doing a thing. And I mean, they already dropped. They dropped 2 spots. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
got a big one this week, Texas and Bama. So
There's a lot going on, and obviously going into game 3 this week, Notre Dame is heading to Durham, North Carolina. I actually kind of wanted to go to this game, but I'm already probably going to the Clemson game, so there's that. But yeah, they'll be playing there this week. It'll be hopefully an awesome game. Dennis, can't wait. It's an early one. It's noon Eastern time, 11 Central. And I will be watching it somewhere. I'm not sure exactly.
Oh yeah, what is it on? ABC probably?
ABC.
ESPN?
ABC is exactly where it is. So we got that. And then obviously follow us all over the socials. We're our WeND Nation, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Our website is We Are ND Nation. I put up some cool graphics. We have a group called the We Are ND Nation fan group. So you can talk and we could comment and bullshit there as well.
Oh,
Dennis, you can find him nowhere except home.
Nope, right here.
We're
You're gonna
working.
call me, maybe we'll figure out how to get a number to you, but I doubt it.
I'll just be texting you all day Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. You can text Evan, and then Evan will say, "This dude wants your number," and I'll be like, "All right, they can have it."
So until next week, thank you guys for sticking to us right here. We are ND Nation, and you know what we always say. I always say it first, and then you go. So
Yeah.
go Irish.
Go Irish, and fuck the University of Spoiled Children.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh, that's good, man.